Good afternoon, connectors. We just came out of a series called If God's Will is So Important, Why Can't I Find It? And if you were there for all 3 weeks, and I honestly believe that if you were there for all 3 weeks and you did the homework and you went through the steps, the 4 steps, that by the end of the 4th week or the end of the 3rd week, you really understood a little bit more about God's will for your life. And I found this passage. This is in my own devotional life. I'm in Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I want to read a couple of verses to you. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. I'm jumping down to verse 6 here. It says, sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle. In both these passages, what he's saying is, if you're just watching the wind or looking at the clouds, you're never going to get any work done. You're never going to actually plant anything. And sow your seed in the morning. In the evening, don't let your hands be idle. In other words, eventually you got to go actually reap the harvest. You got to have to actually do some work. So as we come out of this series, where I believe a lot of us have understood a little bit more about God's will, the next great challenge is, what do I do with that? Am I willing to actually put into practice the things that God has told me to do? There's a gentleman in our church, Josh Hurley, who's been with Connections for a long time, and I consider a good friend of mine. And he's contemplating leaving the States and planting a church in Ireland. This is something he feels like God has led him to do. And it's one thing to have those dreams, and it's easy to lay awake at night and dream about a church plant and dream about leading people to Christ and all the great things that might happen. It's a totally different discussion of when you talk about booking a plane ticket and taking some people over there to scout the area. But Josh has taken that leap of faith, and tomorrow morning there is 5 or 6 people that are headed over to Ireland just to scout the area and to see if that will be the next church plant for Connections. And I'm excited about Josh. I'm excited about his time there. I've been praying that God will show up and speak clearly to him. But I love the fact that it was more than just a dream. Now he's doing it. Now they're flying over there. Now they're going to check it out and see if that's the future for him. Well, maybe God hasn't called you to something huge like planting a church in Ireland, but God has called you to do something. Maybe it's a friend or a neighbor that you need to visit. Maybe it's a relationship that you need to heal. Whatever it is, it's one thing to dream about how great it would be if you did it. It's a whole other thing to actually get in the car and drive over to that person's house. But let me encourage you, stop looking at the wind, stop staring at the clouds, and actually begin to do what God has called you to do. I hope you have a great week. I hope you'll be here Sunday as we start our brand new series called Gifted versus Talented. Now that you know God's will for your life, we can begin to look at the talents and gifts that God has given to you and how to use those in the will that he has shown you. So we believe this will dovetail greatly with our last series. So that starts this coming Sunday. I'll be on stage preaching. My wife will be on stage with me. It's going to be a great time. That's 10:30 Sunday morning. God bless you, and we'll stay connected.